Hello and welcome to Camera Review. Today we are looking at Leica's latest camera, which is the Leica Tl2 or Mark II. This is the third generation of cameras that are coming out at the APS-C size level from Leica, and it has been a very beautiful camera that has been delivered, and it is a major evolution in the terms of cameras that they have been producing. So let's look at the previous version and let's look at this version, see what has changed and what we like and what we don't like about the camera. First of all, right off the bat, the previous version used to have 16.3 megapixels. The new current version has 24 megapixels. So that is a major jump in the number of megapixels in that size. And if you look at other camera manufacturers in the market that are producing APS-C size sensors and using them in the cameras, it's usually 24 megapixels. So Leica finally has caught up with the times, is now delivering 24 megapixels. Second most important improvement, before they used to have HD quality recording at 30 frames per second. The current new camera features a 4K HD. Now it's a UHD, it is not a DCI, so it is not a cinematic quality or the size that is being accepted, but it is what is in the current trend of the market. If you look at the Sony's a6500, for example, it also delivers the UHD style, which is a little lower than the 4096 by 2160. But however, this is going to deliver amazing performance because the cameras and the lens combination is going to deliver much better and sharp images as to the previous versions that were available. I've used the previous versions like the T and the TL, and they both had horrible issues because of the contrast, because of the highlights, because you could not change any of the settings within the camera. In this new camera, I'm hoping, and we are hoping, that it will be much better. However, we do like the image quality. Image quality has been stellar. We have seen the images from this camera and it is beautiful. It is sharp, it's beautiful, color skin tones are excellent, and that is partly because of the use of Leica lenses or the Leica technology. Now, as you may know, Leica lenses are generally produced in Germany, and these lenses, however, are produced in Japan. And they are, of course, have quality that is reminiscent and is of Leica quality, but they are made in Japan. But that does not change the fact that these lenses are great and they deliver incredible contrast and beautiful rendition. Beyond that, I like the fact it is a 24 megapixel camera, because now if you multiply with the crop factor, it comes to 36 megapixels in a 35 millimeter size. And that, of course, rivals what has been in the market as far as full frames, going from 36 all the way up to 50 megapixels. And that means that the camera, that APS-C size camera, is going to deliver a very good performance in terms of sharpness and detail. Now, some people have said that going up larger in terms of pixels is going to cause problems. For example, at 60 megapixels, you have larger pixels to absorb light. With the 24 megapixels, what we have observed is that the pictures, the photographs are just as good and beautiful because the software and technology within the sensor has been upgraded. In fact, when we look at the new sensor, it's the Maestro 2 sensor, which is a wonderful sensor that they have used in their other cameras, and that delivers technology. Now, beyond that, what we do like is this design. This sleek design is just incredible. You can see that it nicely sits in the groove of your hand. It is compact, and you can use a lens like this 23 millimeter lens, which gives you a 35 millimeter equivalent. When I speak about lenses, I usually mean, when I say 23, it means only the APS-C size, and a full frame is going to come out to 35. Similarly, Leica has a 35 millimeter lens, which comes out to the 52.5 millimeters in terms of full frame size. So this lens in itself is a beautiful lens. It's an F2 lens. It's made in Japan. It's a Summicron lens, and it works with the camera. And has in-body stabilization, or it works with the lens in conjunction to produce this stabilization. So stabilization is beautiful. It has a large panel on the back, which is something I really like about this camera, because the large panel on the back, the LCD screen, is also a touch screen. It has very few buttons, makes it very easy to navigate through the menu. Unlike other cameras that we have seen in the past, this one is streamlined, is minimalistic. There are two dials on top which you can turn to adjust multiple settings, whether you're in the program setting or aperture priority or the shutter setting. They are there, and the way to look at the images is to just swipe down and you get right access to the images that you have shot, and you can view them. You can do a Wi-Fi transfer to your smartphone or your computer, or send it to your friends. And this is a major benefit with the new Leica cameras, because the new Leica cameras have adopted much of the new improvements that we have seen in other companies' cameras. For example, the Wi-Fi that was found in the Fuji cameras or the Sony cameras. Now we have these options available. Now, this is going to be an expensive setup, because the camera is released at $1,950, which is almost $2,000. You can find the links below that you can order these cameras right away, because they're going to be sold out probably within the first couple of months, because they have limited production. And these cameras are still being produced in their original plant in Germany, which is Wetzlar, Germany. And this is one of the things I like. The quality is there, and they've spent a lot of time designing this. And this is technically a single block of aluminum carved, and it's a very sturdy design, and it does not attract attention. The only thing that I would find difficult if you're using this camera is putting lenses like the 35mm or the longer lenses they have as telephoto lenses, which have different options. So those lenses are going to protrude. But what is beautiful about it is, if you have a compact lens like this, a 23mm, it can pretty much fit in your briefcase or your suitcase, and you can travel with it. And one of the things that is beautiful about it is this strap, which is a silicone strap. That means it's not going to break, it's not going to cause trouble, and it has a beautiful design that makes it very versatile to use. Now, if you are in the market to buy this camera, you must remember that Leica quality also demands higher prices. So if you look at the native lenses that are from Leica, they're going to be relatively expensive. What is beautiful about all this is the Leica TL mount shares the same kind of format as the Leica SL. So if you buy the Leica SL lenses, you are able to adapt them to Leica TL cameras, which is a beautiful thing. They also have adapters to apply the Leica M lenses on the Leica TL. Leica M lenses, as you may know, are the rangefinder lenses that are used by Leica for many, many years. They have their M series, the Leica M10 being the latest of their releases. They are incredible lenses. They are, of course, very expensive for full frame use, but they do work on the Leica TL. So that does mean that if you already own Leica lenses, you are going to be able to use it. On the plus side, if you have the Leica SL lenses, then you're going to be able to use it here and on your full frame camera. And if you are looking to purchase a Leica SL, which is a rather decent camera in terms of performance and delivering good quality images, then you can purchase those lenses and use it in both cameras. I use this as a second backup camera, especially when I go on film shoots. I use this to capture the space. I use it for simple shoots, and the image is very good. And what I do like is I like to look in the back LCD panel and see what the image is going to be like before I press the shutter button. And that means I'm not going to have problems when I come home or when I go to my office and look at the images and see that, oh, well, that was underexposed or overexposed, because the camera does that pretty well. And what I do like also, of course, the new camera has much better autofocus. The autofocus has been improved, and that's important. Now, as far as video and vlogging, the camera in the past had not performed well. You could point to something and it will not focus, and that was one of the big drawbacks. Now, the new camera, we haven't tested that in that respect, but I think that they would have improved on that as well, because the autofocus has been improved. So we're going to be doing some tests on the video side. On the image side, what I can tell you is the images from what we have observed are incredible, very detailed, very beautiful. Skin tones look good, and they capture detail. And that is one of the fundamental reasons why we invest in cameras like this. Although they seem like a novelty item or they seem expensive, in the long term, the quality of the images are going to make you very happy, and that's what we want to have. And this is a perfect compact travel size camera. I take it almost everywhere I go. I keep it in my car often or in my bag. What I do is I can take this out. I don't have to worry about focusing or nailing autofocus, because it does that pretty well. Now, with other cameras like the M series or other cameras, you will need to have manual focusing, which is of course okay, but in low light circumstances, that might get a little bit tricky, especially if your eyesight is not very good. With this camera, you can put it at f2, which is a 23mm f2, giving you a 35mm, and you are going to be able to get good focus, even though the low light circumstances may affect your vision. This is going to be able to deliver. So this is one of the things I like. Of course, if you go with the 35mm, which is the 52.5mm equivalent full frame, they have f1.4. f1.4 is a very difficult aperture to use because of the shallow depth of field. Again, autofocus makes a wonderful investment and wonderful choice for this type of camera. Beyond that, I do like that they kept the same design, same structure in this camera, because that is beautiful. You can continue on a trend and have this camera improve internally rather than have changes made. And the original design, it has won many awards in terms of design awards, and I think that sleekness and minimalistic style serves it very well. And one of the things that you can also find is this out of flash that pops up, and it can just go into the body and doesn't have any issues. For other reasons, you can put a shoe mount here or a microphone of any sort you may choose, and that will help you to capture audio as well. The audio levels that I found within the camera settings is pretty good. The quality it delivers is pretty good. So for me, that is very important. In the past, what I found is that a lot of cameras, they had issues when they were trying to capture stereo sound or sound from the exterior, especially dialogue. And this camera is pretty good if you are in a close proximity of between 50 centimeters to 1.5 meters or 2 meters. Beyond that, the sound gets kind of difficult. You will need a shotgun mic, but this, again, as I said, is a wonderful upgrade to this. Another thing I want to mention is the new memory card slot, which allows you to put a faster memory card, which is the UHS-2. That means that is going to be able to record information much faster, and it will allow for future firmware upgrades. Now, as you may know, a lot of the Sony cameras have upgraded to the new card. GH5 has upgraded to the new card, and I think the new cards are going to be the main way that the cameras are going to be performing, because they're going to be offering the 4K. So as a conclusion, what I would say to you, if you are looking for a compact camera that looks design-wise beautiful and is an investment that you can make for a long term, this is one of the cameras that I kindly recommend. And if you do like these cameras, I suggest you visit the information section below. There's several reviews I've done with the older cameras that show you how they perform. You can watch those as well. They're on the Leica Review YouTube channel, and also our YouTube channel to anyone who may be interested in cameras, because we do provide independent reviews and most honest analysis of cameras and lenses. So we hope to see you in our next review, and we thank you for watching.